Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you do not owe a single dollar on your house. No mortgage, no monthly payment, no silent pressure sitting in the background of your life. Every single day for years that payment followed you every month, no matter what happened, Ned, no matter how you felt, no matter what you wanted, you had to pay. And now suddenly, this going sounds like freedom, right? But here is something most people never expect. Paying off your house does not just change your bank account, it changes how you think, it changes how you make decisions, it changes how you see money, and even how you see your future. In America, owning a home is not just about having a place to live. It is emotional. It is a symbol of success. It is what people spend decades chasing. You go to school, you get a job, you save money, you qualify for a loan, and then you sign papers that lock you into a payment for the next 30 years. 30 years, think about that. It is not just a loan, that is a long-term commitment that shapes your entire lifestyle, every career decision, every risk you avoid, every opportunity you ignore. A lot of it comes back to one thing, that monthly mortgage payment, because once you have that responsibility, everything changes. You cannot just quit your job. You cannot take big risks easily. You cannot afford to be unstable. So you build your life around stability, not freedom, and that is what most people never realize. They think the house gives them freedom, but in reality the payment takes a lot of it away. Still, you keep going year after year, you make sacrifices, you delay things you want, you say no to opportunities. You stay in situations longer than you should because you have a payment to protect. And then one day, after years of effort, discipline, and consistency, you make the final payment. It is no more mortgage, and at first it does not even feel real. There is no celebration moment like in the movies. It is quiet, almost strange, because something that has been part of your life for so long is suddenly gone. Pressure you got used to carrying is no longer there, and for the first time in years you feel space, not just in your bank account but in your mind. But here is where the real story begins, because this is the moment where people go in completely different directions. Some people use this moment to finally breathe, relax, they feel like they made it, and honestly, they deserve to feel that way. But slowly something starts to happen. They start spending more. Not all at once, but little by little. A better carer, bigger lifestyle, more comfort, more upgrades. Because after all those years of sacrifice, they feel like now it is their time, and without realizing it, they slowly rebuild the same pressure, juiced in a different form. No, instead of a mortgage, they have expensive habit-shiga lifestyle, costs more things to maintain, and even though the house is paid off, they still feel stuck. In the other side of there is a completely different type of person, Simeon, who understands what just happened. They do not see the end. They see an opportunity bakers for the first time in their adult life. A large amount of money every month is no longer locked, it is free, and instead of spending it, they redirect it. They take that same mortgage payment and they start investing it every month, just like before. But now, instead of paying a bank, they are building their own future. They buy assets, they invest in things that grow, they let time work in their favor, and this is where something powerful begins. Because the habit stays the same, but the result becomes completely different. Before money was leaving their life, and own money starts building their life. This is the shift most people never make because they were so focused on finishing the receipt. They never prepared for what comes after. But the truth is, paying off your house is not the finish line. is the starting line of a completely new financial life because now your biggest expense is gone, which means your ability to build wealth is higher than ever before. You have more control, more flexibility, more options. You can take risks you could never take before. You can walk away from things that do not serve you. You can finally make decisions based on growth instead of fear, and that is a different kind of freedom, not just financial but mental, because when you remove your biggest financial obligation, you remove a huge part of stress from your life. And when stress goes down, clarity goes up. You start thinking long term. You start seeing opportunities you ignored before. You start asking better questions instead of how do I survive. Start asking how do I grow, and that single shift changes everything, but it only happens if you are aware of it. If not, you fall back into the same cycle, different number, same pattern. That is why two people can both pay off their house but end up in completely different places. 10 years later, one becomes financially free, other stays stuck, not because of income or not because of luck, but because of what they did after the mortgage and did so. If you ever reach that moment, if you are working towards it right now, understand this clearly, that final payment is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your real opportunity moment, where your money finally has the chance to work for you. Moment where you stop being controlled by payments and start controlling your future. Sir, when that day comes, do not just celebrate, I choose it, because what you do next will decide everything.